I was not expecting to be streaming, but uh, just one of those things. I pressed the wrong button on my OBS. I thought I was recording. Guess we're going live. It's probably going to be short anyway, so I'll greet you guys as you come through. I appreciate you being here. What is it? El Guas? El Guas? El Way? El Way. Right. But yeah, so I am actually cooking dinner, but it's on a pressure cooker, so. And I'm trying out some new metallic gouaches, and I'm just trying to see what's going on. Like I said, I'm not going to stick around too long. I just need to find some things to make this thing pop. Let's see this how this silver works out. These are Mahimis, and then I'm using these brand new Arteza metallic that I was gifted by my amazing wife. So I'm just messing around. I like how my movies. I'm in the way. It's kind of a mess around me right now. The sheen on these is pretty cool. Might as well have a seat. I was planning to leave this all in grayscale, but let me move my phone. It was it got a little lost. So hi dear. I pressed the wrong button. I thought I hit record and it started streaming, and I'm just going with it. And I'm messing with these metallic. They don't show so much on screen, but here, I guess look at this. the bling on that metallic. I'm curious how they'll dry.
Looks really good metallic. Yeah, I needed some color.
It did. I think it kind of.
It was starting to blend in with the background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I added light washes, uh, and then I'm just trying to accent some of the metal parts.
I love how I can orchestrate music between one part of my home and then it can play everywhere.
Mm. but I like it. I like it. All right, let's see. Let's get the highlights and call it. Suti. Yeah, we bump.
The Sonic $6 All-American Smasher Meal tops the burger food chain. Get it hand smashed and made to order.
Yeah, we're not going over the top. We'll keep it as is. I feel like I might have to go with acrylic black to get the pure contrast I'm looking for. Because the gouache dries a bit chalky, but I'm super happy with the way this came out. That's what I might have to do. Okay, so the metallic gouache colors came out alright. I use very little of it. Let me just clear up my table for a second. Okay. I'm going to use these more. Okay. I think I'm going to go over this in black acrylic. I might, this gray on the guns here, I might end up coming back laters with some metallic. I think it'll look pretty cool. All right. Let's move this camera out the way. Let's finish this thing up. All right, let's see how this do.
I don't have time to go around and film B-roll all day and make my own music and take photos of food. I just use story packs. Story
Need some better brushes. Hope everybody's having a chill Monday, at least. At the least. At the most. It's the beginning of a fantastic week for you. And I appreciate you spending some time with me in this impromptu live. Again, I thought I hit record on my OBS and instead I hit the stream now button. And I figure, because I don't believe in coincidences no more, anymore, you keep going. That's how I feel. In Make Double X, this character is a. This isn't, I don't believe, the true form of this character. This character belongs to a creator by the name of Rob Norton. Uh, I believe his name is Commander Maximum. Um, if I remember correctly, he's kind of a parody character the 90s. If you're in our age group of that era, like Cable, those type of characters, bulky and just bangled up with armor and pads and buckles and God knows everything else. But um, Rob is creating a comic book set in that era, so I took it upon myself to do some fan art of his character in that era using a famous Rob Liefeld and Cable drawing as a reference. This is the reference that I used. So I wanted to make sure I kept it as 90s as possible. So a lot of smoke and attitude and pop marks. Meg Double X, are you familiar with that era? Are you era? No, I can't get this as watery as I need it to be. Thank you. Yeah, and like I said, because I was using reference, I didn't veer too much. I just superimposed the way his character looks over that Rob Liefeld cover. But thank you. That era, that 1990s era of comic books was all about gritted teeth and a lot of ammunition. You can feel the emotion. Oh yeah, we've all had that on that gritted teeth emotion. Somebody took your parking space. if you ever get an opportunity, if you like comics, um, I would recommend checking out his channel. Just look for Rob Norton, and he does reviews on comic books, not of that era, of any era. He's a writer, creates his own comic. Obviously, this is one of his characters. So, all right, I'm gonna go for a bigger brush because I'm gonna go around this figure pretty quickly. Oh, I apologize. But I was saying that you should, if you're a comic book fan, you should check out Rob's channel. The creator of this character here. Just look for his name, Rob Norton. Hopefully, you can hear me a little bit better. See if I can put this in my face. I think that looks a little bit better. The light is oh, thank you. And you are always struggling. What medium do you paint on? What do you normally use? This is both the majority of this painting is done in gouache, but this gray in the background is gray acrylic, a very washed, very watery consistency of acrylic, and I'm just using right now acrylic black because gouache has a tendency to dry very light and chalky. And because I want this to mimic a comic book panel, I want to make sure that the black pops up. So yeah, what medium do you use? Acrylic? Ah, okay. When you say that you have trouble with light, do you mean in contrast or just in blending of the figure or the drawing, painting? Sorry. When choosing colors for the light, it tends to get muddy and not very bright, mostly on skin. Yeah, it's very tough. Um, I'm trying to think. I don't know if it would be the same using acrylic or the way I use it with gouache. Because gouache you can really blend in. Um, the only thing I can think of is if your paints are watery, so they'll dry into each other. Maybe waiting a bit until the layers dry, or doing painting in tile form, whereas you would use you leave that area that you want highlighted. You wouldn't paint over it as much, so that the paper would come through, your canvas will come through, and it'll help you maintain that brighter color, kind of like the way people do with watercolor. Because in watercolor, you wouldn't paint over it because you just leave the white of the paper. But I know when painting with skin, and when you're painting, you really just want to get in there and paint. So the only tip I can give you, based on my experience just using gouache, like his face here, I really want to go back in there and give him a highlight on his nose. And gouache will always kind of like blend into the color, so I have to keep going back. So I have to wait for this part of the face or the painting dries, or any paint part of the painting to dry, and then go in with a purer consistency of that color, white or flesh tone or whatever it is. Like it's kind of hard to see here. It just seems kind of like gray. That's supposed to be like a lens flare. Like light is hitting that and giving an intense bloom, but it blended into the lower layers. One second. So knowing how gouache does that, I would have to come back in there with pure white or whatever the color that I want it to. But because we're talking about highlights, doo-doo, doo-doo. So, no, this isn't canvas. This is acrylic paper. So it's pretty thick, 300 GSM. But I do tape the sides. I do tape the sides. But no, this isn't canvas. This is a regular acrylic paper drawing pad that that I wet my canvas that I tape on the sides to keep it rigid. And that so that the paper won't buckle on me when I'm painting. I don't think that makes sense there, but probably not about making sense here. The only other thing I can think of, Mig, to help you with the issue with muddy colors is if you're using water to, it's silly, but to use clean water. I have a tendency of contaminating my water. How long has it taken me to do this piece? I think it took me maybe about 3 hours to do the drawing by itself, just because I took my time to do it because I wanted it to be as tight as possible, and the painting maybe another 4 hours. But I do think I am about done here. I think add a few more highlights. I wasn't really even planning to go this far into it, but as it happens, right? But yeah, I'm actually it's taking a bit. It's taking a bit, so I'm kind of happy. I'm close to done here, and start working on some other projects that I have. All right. But yeah, I think I'm gonna be done here for today. Like I said, I was this was kind of like a happy accident that I was started streaming. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. I will be on tomorrow. I am guesting on another artist's channel, but I will be simulcasting on mine. I will be drawing this piece. Let me just move that aside. I'm going to keep drawing this piece. This was for a project that a bunch of other artists were working on. So I'm going to keep drawing this, adding more detail. And, but yeah, I appreciate it. Check back. I hope you have a great rest of your day. That's it. Peace out. Thank you very much. See you later.